Hobby quick hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 186 of Hobby Quick Hits. And I know, the Nationals in the books in Cleveland. May we get one there ever again? I don't know. And there's been no shortage of national coverage and content before the show, during the show, and now after the show. And this week's episode is going to add to that category, and it's going to be short and sweet though, so that's the good news. I'm going to kind of just recap my show, what I did, what I picked up, opinions and thoughts. And again, I'm going to go through each day chronologically in rapid order fashion. So, while it may be national talk, it's not going to be long, and it's going to be personalized, at least from my point of view. So with that being said, let's get the show started.
Okay, now a quick word from our great sponsor, followed by the new product release schedule. Then we'll go around the Hobbyverse to tell you all the latest hobby happenings and news. Then we'll tackle today's topic of discussion.
Hi, this is Pat Hughes, Cubs announcer, coming to you from the Sports Card Shop in beautiful New Buffalo, Michigan. The Gocher family has built an incredible place here for collectors to buy, sell, and trade cards and memorabilia. Be sure to stop by and let them show you around. TheSportsCardShop.com, connecting sports, athletes, the hobby, and collectors around the world.
Hi. This is Alan Pinkett, and I'm here to tell you the Gocher family has done it again. They've just opened up the Sport Card Shop in downtown Valparaiso, Indiana, and it is awesome. If you're a collector, you need to check this place out. Tell them Alan sent you and get a free gift on your first visit.
Go ahead.
Let's check out this week's Hobby Wax releases.
Got me this week. Let's go through what's coming out so you can make some choices about what to rip. Starting with the 14th. These are all 14th releases. 2024 Historic Autographs, All-Time Greats Baseball. 2023 Panini's Contenders Optic Football. 2023 Panini Donruss Optic Football H2. Also, 2023-24 Topps Chrome Overtime Elite Basketball, and 2024 Topps Star Wars Chrome. Let's go to the 15th. We've got Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Season 1, along with Collector's Album. Also now moving to the 16th, 2023-24 Panini Prism EuroLeague Basketball. Also on the 16th, 2024 Pro Set Metal Football. Moving to the 21st, we have 2023-24 Panini Mosaic Basketball Fast Break, 2024 Topps Chrome Tennis, 23-24 Upper Deck Credentials Hockey, and 24 Upper Deck Portfolio Golf. Going to the 23rd, lots of releases, 2024 Leaf Electra Multisport, 2024 Panini Boys of Summer Baseball, 2023 Panini One Football, 2024 Panini Prism WWE Undercard. Also on the 23rd, 2024 Pokemon Holiday Calendar, EX Deluxe Battle Deck, Miraidon EX and Koraidon EX Deck, Scarlet and Violet Shrouded Fable Elite Trainer Box. Staying on the 23rd, 2024 Topps Pristine Baseball is back. 2024 Topps Pro Debut.
Let's go round the Hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
And find out well, if you're my age or maybe even a little older, you might remember being a kid and getting a baseball pack for Halloween in your trick-or-treat bag. Well, guess what? Those days might be making a comeback thanks to Panini, as they have announced a Halloween-based product on football and the basketball side. The football product is going to be called Score a Treat. Retails for about 50 cents a pack. It will be a 300 card set with each card having a pumpkin, bat, or trick or treat version. There will be numbered parallels to 99, no autos. It will feature current and former players and also have rookie cards in it. And it can be purchased at Walmart and Sam's Club, and they're aimed again to be distributed into kids' trick-or-treat bags, but we'll see how many wind up there and how many wind up in showcases or that sort of thing. We'll have to see. On the basketball side, they're making a basketball product along the same lines. That's going to be called Haunted Hoops. Also 300 cards featuring orange, slime, hollow webs, and hollow candy versions of the base cards. No definite on Wemby being part of the product, but I'm going to assume there will be a little bit more tight-lipped on the basketball product. I think that has to be ordered through a website. But head to Panini for more information there. But Halloween packs are back. Kobe's Locker, which he had for a 12-year run in Los Angeles, just sold on Sotheby's for $2.88 million. The backstory with this locker is that it was discovered by a maintenance worker who, before it was about to be destroyed, knew the significance of it, saved it, sold it to a private collector who now has put it into the Sotheby's auction, where it got almost $3 million. So glad that part of history was saved, and it's going to a new home, whoever the buyer is. Upper Deck has announced a partnership with Brandt. The deal will allow Upper Deck to produce cards under the NIL deal. It's going to be called World of Sports. Will be various sports from the college level, including women's and men's college sports. So stay tuned for that.
It's showtime.
It's showtime for Fanatics Fest coming up this weekend, 3 days, I believe. I am going to try to get there for one day. I do not know if I will. 50-50, I would say, at the time of this recording. But the Topps has announced they are making a Chrome product, just a Chrome version of their Topps baseball just for the events called, it will feature Big Apple refractors numbered to 50, which will obviously have the city skyline in the border of that Topps Chrome product. Very limited. Just because you enter the event doesn't mean you'll be able to get a box or packs. The dealers there will have them, but again, it's a limited type of deal. So when they're gone, they're gone.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, let's talk about the 44th National in Cleveland. Let me start with just some opinions on things. I like the venue. The traffic, obviously, if you attended, was not great coming in. That is not the new leadership's fault, right? That's more just where the venue is situated and how many entrances there are. Wasn't horrible, though. It wasn't good, but I don't think it was horrible either. Somewhere in between. I was fortunate enough with a media badge to be able to come earlier, which I took advantage of. And so maybe that plays into a little bit that I was kind of ahead of the traffic. But I did see it at times when I left early and then came back. I ran into it. So, it did exist, and it was what it was. Not a deal breaker to me as far as ever having it there again. Maybe they can do something pertaining to it. Wi-Fi. Again, this is one I cannot give a pass on. it is 2024. The National knows how many dealers they have setting up. They know how much corporate they have setting up. They approximately know how many people will be attending. You have to be ready for the bandwidth. And whether we like it or not, Wi-Fi is important, right? It's important for transactions and credit card machines. It's important for the breakers streaming and their equipment. It's important for guests looking up comps, calling family, texting family in case of emergency, right? Wi-Fi is very important. And this is not the first rodeo. They know things in advance. Other big events go off without a hitch, without Wi-Fi issues. Why does it seem like the National can't figure this out? It's almost become a running joke in itself. So here's to let's hope in 2025 Chicago, smooth sailing with Wi-Fi. Be prepared. You know who's coming for the most part. Have that planned in advance, right? We know the venue ahead of time. We know a lot of things ahead of time. They know even more. Get that done, please, for everybody's sake. I thought it was the way the building was laid out. I thought was very well done, in my opinion. Corporate, for the most part, with corporate, breakers with breakers, and dealer tables with dealer tables. I like that. That way, if you don't like one of those segments, you don't even have to go into the area, and it cuts down on the footprint you have to cover. Food trucks. Now, I'm not one that eats lunch during the show. You might have heard me talk about I sustain on beef jerky, granola bars, Kind bars, and water until dinner time. And then I go somewhere and we have a dinner. So I didn't partake in the food trucks, but I thought it was a great idea. I thought there was a great variety of foods for those who did partake. You had pizza, Mexican, gyros, other things, snacks, desserts, coffee, espresso. They really had a lot of the bases covered. I liked where they were put, but it also created a little bit of a traffic. Many times I had to, excuse myself through a line to get from point A to point B. Plenty of tables to eat your food. If you ordered food, only one problem. Those tables became impromptu trade nights and sales sessions. Even though there was signage saying the tables are for food consumption only, people blew the sign off and made impromptu trade and sales tables out of them. Didn't think that was great. Hard to police that, right? It really is. I know someone said, well, just come over there and disperse the crowd, right? And then the minute you walk away, it happens again. So unless you have it roped off and someone letting in people who are carrying food, you're not going to get that done. So again, not going to beat up the promotion too bad on that. It's just everyone's, if you went downstairs, that was a huge trade night. Then you had the 3 trade nights that were actually sponsored after the event. I'm not a trade night guy, so you won't see me at those kind of events. But I did love the food truck, even though I didn't buy anything off the food truck. Had I been a guy that eats lunch at the show, I definitely would have partaken. I liked it. I liked the show. I hope it comes back to Cleveland. I've heard other people say they hope it doesn't. I've heard other people say they believe this is the last show national in Cleveland and that sort of thing. Time will tell, right? The next 3 are in Chicago, and that's, so it won't be, the earliest Cleveland will ever see another one will be in 2028, if at all. So we'll see how this all shakes out. So let's talk about my sort of experience, right? I like Cleveland for one fact for sure. I could drive it. It was 5 hours and 10 minutes. I left Tuesday morning, got to the hotel, room with my partner Danny Black from Card Mentions and Hobby Hotline, Hobby News Daily. And we both got there Tuesday afternoon. And 5 hours, 10-minute drive. I only stopped once to use the restroom and grab a bite to eat. And other than that, I made my way there probably in 5 hours, 30 minutes. I crashed hard on that Tuesday. I think the driving got to me. I was kind of sore in my midsection region, just probably from sitting like that for an extended period of time. And I remember, I think 8:30, I was out. So Wednesday, we made plans to attend the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I spent a little over 2 hours there. Great first time for me ever being there, along with Danny and his son Connor, and it was a great. It's a must-do if you've never done before, and you get to Cleveland, and it's a must-do, I think, too, even if you've done it before but haven't been there in a few years. I'm sure, like most Hall of Fames, they have new stuff, with new inductees, change the displays around and that sort of thing. 6 floors. It's not gigantic, but it's not small either. I obviously partake in music and genres and bands that I'm fond of. I didn't look at necessarily at every showcase, with all due respect. There was a bluegrass section, not a bluegrass guy, so I sort of bypassed that, walked by it, paid my respects in that sort of way. Had interactive kiosks. They have a beat booth where you can make your own beat. I'm using that beat as the intro now to interviews on Sports Card Nation. It was a great couple hours at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hit the gift shop, grabbed something for my wife and son, and then made our way and went to the show. Short day at the show. Picked up our badges, from that line. Was at the show just a couple hours, and then we had to leave to catch the Guardians game. They were playing the Tigers, 6:40. First time at Progressive Field for me, not for Danny. And I liked the field. The food choices were not great. It was sort of self-service for the most part, at least the food service areas that I saw. But the sight lines, there's not really a bad seat in that house. The game was not that exciting. I believe it was a 2-1 or 3-2 game. Class A came in and got a save. That was cool what they do there, and turn the lights off and play some music, and he comes in and shuts the door. So had a good time. Again, not a lot of fireworks at the game offensively, a low scoring one, but glad I went. Pretty cool stadium. Got to our seats, and I met, who were we sitting in the same row with? My editor at Sports Collectors Digest, Jeff Owens, and his family. And we had talked earlier at the show that we were both going to the game. Maybe we'll run into each other. Little did we know, we're sitting in the same row, aisle, and section. How crazy is that, right? Pretty funny. Got to talk to him a little bit there during the game. So that concluded Wednesday's festivities. And Thursday is the first day of the full show. We had a Hobby Hotline main stage at 3 p.m. Local time that went off without a hitch and went very well. And then, did not make any major purchases on the first full day. Kind of just tried to cover as much ground as I could in between, doing different things. The Hobby Hotline main stage, I was a guest on Samuel Evans doing interviews in the National Live booth, so the turntables were turned on me on Thursday as well. And then Thursday evening was the annual Mike Moynihan YouTube dinner. It was at the American Legion in Cleveland. 2 floors. We had some food and drinks and got to hobnob and meet people again. Meet people for the first time. It was a great event. Mike does a great job, and those who help him with that do a great job. There's some giveaways with Slam Museums, card exchanges with content creators giving out cards and of their shows and of themselves. At the same, we had Card Mensch do auto cards, so we gave some of those out. Got some other cards from other people. Ate some food. Talk life. Talk hobby. Really touching moment. A gentleman named AJ came up to me from Kentucky, an ATF agent, said he loves the program that we do, and so he's a big fan of the show, and gave me a very heavy-duty challenge coin, which depicts the Kentucky Derby, the Running of the Roses, has the year 2024 ATF on it. It's in front of me right here on my desk where it will remain, and he presented it to me. I don't get speechless too often, folks. That was as close. I told AJ, yeah, this is the close to speechless as you're going to get me. And very, very touched, very moved by it. Posted it on social media, called my wife that night, which I tend to do after the show, and kind of shared that with her. And it's those type of things, right? I've always said I don't do this show for gifts or prizes or money or whatever. But when that happens, right, it really brings things into focus and the impact you actually have on folks. So that was a really touching moment. Thank you, AJ, if you're listening out there. Very appreciated. I'm looking at the challenge coin now. It will always be on my desk. I thank you, sir, and anyone else that enjoys the show as well. So that was kind of Thursday's night. We wrapped it up there, called it a night, went home, and got ready for Friday. Friday was when I bought my first significant card. As you may have heard me talk about, last year I tried to get a Seaver rookie, but with the passing of Terrific Tom and the statue erected at Citi Field, comps were just nowhere near where I needed them to be to pull the trigger on a purchase. I went back into this year and this year's National with still at the top of the list, Clemente rookie, Carlton bench rookie also on that list. I found a Seaver. There was a few options. I found a PSA 6 at a gentleman's table. Actually priced very well and very centered and very nice specimen, if I may be so inclined to say, and said, hey, what can you do? Can you do a little bit better? Took an additional $100 off the sticker, which, like I said, was fairly priced to begin with, and it was a no-brainer. I had my Tom Seaver rookie, PSA 6, and so that mission is completed. Later in the day, I bought a Mean Joe Green rookie, PSA 6 as well. I have one, but it was a 3.5, and this one was much, much nicer, cleaner, no print marks, centered, and so I upgraded my Mean Joe Green rookie, replacing a half with the 6. Now, I didn't go into the show looking necessarily to do that, but another great deal, another great price tag, and it was sort of a no-brainer as well. Bought some smaller stuff. Those are, your 3- and 4-figure cards. Bought some $20 cards here in there, some stuff for my show inventory and that sort of thing. Friday night after the show was the Diamond King premiere, or the pre-premiere of that show. I've been a backer and supporter of that movie, and Mr. Dick Perez and Mark Evans, the director, have bought the sets and other things pertaining to the movie. I've had them both on a couple times in the lead up to this event. Great movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers out, but I will tell you this: if you think it's about just cards and just art, not so. It's personal. It tugs at heartstrings. I found myself a couple times kind of choking back, holding back some tears. Really well done by director Mark Evans. And so very glad I was able to be a small part of it, see it, and get to know both of those gentlemen pertaining to the film. Before the film started, Mike Moynihan, I know we previously mentioned, he came in. He was also there. We were there early, and so was he. Came in and showed a Sandy Koufax Perez Steel postcard that he bought, signed by Sandy Koufax. Great price, and said, hey, I know the dealer, gotten to know him a little bit. He's got like 3 more at that price he's willing to sell. So a few of us ran out at different times. He kind of brought us back to the table, and I was one of those who picked up that Sandy Koufax signed Perez Steel card. I have Sandy Koufax cards. Until then, I didn't own a Sandy Koufax autograph. And I will tell you this, His price for signing. He does very limited appearances. His baseline price is $1,250 for a basic signature, and 20 over $2,000 if you want his rookie card signed. So I paid a lot less than that for this Perez Steele autographed Sandy Koufax postcard signed and authenticated by PSA and DNA certified. Sandy has one of the best looking autographs you will ever see. So happy to add that to the personal collection. That concluded Friday's festivities. Saturday, had my Sports Card Nation on the main stage at 3 p.m. and I presented Hobby News Daily, Danny Black's news website. We had some of the writers from that show on the stage. Danny asked some questions. It was well attended. It was well done. Happy to give him some of the spotlight and some of the shine for that great group of writers and website. We had our annual Hobby Hotline dinner at the Burtwood Tavern after the show, and that was a great night. Great food, and always love. One of the things I look forward to at each year's Nationals, that Hobby Hotline dinner, which we now do. It seems like Saturday's become the traditional day. Also, did another interview, a little bit longer interview with Samuel Evans in the National Live recording booth also on Saturday. Because I drove and I was solo, I was able to go to the show Sunday. I went to the show Sunday. I wanted to see, number one, if there were any deals to be had, any blowout signs and that sort of thing. And I also wanted to see how busy a Sunday was. I had never attended on a Sunday. It wasn't dead, but it wasn't very busy, as many people have, left town, caught planes. No real deals to be had. I didn't wind up actually buying any. I take that back. I bought some cards out of a $1 box for my show inventory, but that was really about it. I kind of took off about 1:30, figuring it would take me about 6 hours to get home, and had to work, go back to school and work the following Monday. Grabbed some Cleveland pizza. First time I had pizza that week. I love pizza, so I said, hey, I got to have Cleveland pizza. Grabbed some Cleveland pizza and hit the road. Made it home about 7:30 and, got everything unpacked and got everything in order and went back to the dealers I spoke to at the show all said they had a great show, and many of them, even on as early as Wednesday or Thursday, said they hit the number they were hoping to hit for the whole show. They had hit it by Wednesday or Thursday, which is kind of crazy to me, but the hobby's alive and well. Transactions are going down. Many big cards are being obtained and purchased, and transactions are going down, which maybe led to why there wasn't a lot of 50% off this showcase on Sunday like I was hoping to see. The dealers were pretty satisfied. They didn't have to blow necessarily anything out. I will say this too. Last year, the comps were still not really where they needed to be. I think dealers were reluctant to get there. I think this year they were closer to reality than the last 3 to 4 years with the COVID crescendo and then the coming down off of it. I think we're starting to get, more realization that the hobby's in a different place. It's alive and well. It's very busy, but just putting almost whatever price tag you want on a card and it's selling, those days are gone for sure. People are being smarter and more diligent with their hard-earned dollar, and dealers are responding in kind there. So that's going to do it. That's my national all-in-one episode rather than doing it, day 1, day 2, day 3. I just wanted to wrap it all up and sort of be done with it. Now we count down the days to the next national in Chicago, Illinois. And if you're listening to this on show release date on Monday, we're around 349 days away from the Chicago National. So with that being said, thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. All right, thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/SportsCardNationPodcast/ Twitter, we are at SportsCardNati1, so it's SportsCard NATI1. Instagram at SportsCardNationPodcast, or you can email the show hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.